Hello, it's December 11th. Welcome to day 11 of our COVID Christmas journals. I'm Pauline. I run the Scrapbook Room, a mobile and online scrapbook store, and I also offer inspiration and friendship in the Scrapbook Playroom, an online Facebook group made for paper crafters just like you. Let's get started with today's prompt. Today we're talking about elves. Elves are a good thing, right? We tend to think of them as little people who work in Santa's workshop, but they have come out of the North Pole and they are everywhere. You never know when a little elf is going to show up and do something good or bad. How often do you blame something on an elf? Probably a lot if there's an elf on the shelf in your house. Those elves began appearing in homes a little over a decade ago. That phenomenon has gone crazy. The elf first appeared along with the storybook with the basic idea of secretly moving the elf around your home each night in December. The premise was that he was sent to keep an eye on your children and make sure they were behaving. I think the story was if you touched the elf, the magic would disappear. Apparently, it didn't take long for that elf on the shelf to get bored with sitting around watching kids, and he started getting into trouble, at least in some houses. Sure, little kids have fun discovering where the elf is each morning, but I think many adults have a lot more fun. And amazingly, as the kids get older, it seems the elf doesn't go away. He simply becomes a little more daring and sometimes X-rated. I'm sure most of you have seen evidence of this on Facebook or elsewhere. Take a photo of your own or someone else's elf on the shelf, or catch him when he's up to no good. Share your thoughts on the whole elf thing if you want. No elves around? Or do you have another type of elf? A decoration? A toy? Or a neighborhood elf who does good deeds? And that's another idea. Be an elf yourself. Maybe it's time to do a good deed. You could even do something fun, like leave a box of cookies on a doorstep, or deliver a meal, or a decoration. You'll think of something. Take a photo of your package before you deliver it, or tell about the feeling you get of doing a good deed. As I was working on this post, one of our members shared a do-good calendar on Facebook, and I just have to share that link. You'll see it up above. You can find monthly action calendars there at that link. The December one is fantastic, and it's a great idea. Maybe it's something you'd want to do all year, and it could be your next album project. So go ahead, think about what you can do with regards to elves and good deeds in your scrapbook today. And I'll be right back with today's tip. Today's tip is to get creative with your embellishments. I wanted to capture the essence of today's prompt, so I started with the title, Good Things. It leaves plenty of room for interpretation when you want to add a photo later. The red and white striped paper for the photo mat made me think of an elf's clothing. And I didn't have an elf around, so I had to improvise. I found an image online and tried to mimic it. That's the hat base. It's simply a pie shape cut to my desired size. Then I added a yellow stripe on the hat and cut a feather shape to decorate it. I made light pencil marks, not sure if you can see them there, and made tiny little snips to make it look more like a feather. It's not perfect, but you know what it is. The thing is to look at something like this and not immediately say, I can't do this. Instead, look at the shape, the form. How can you improvise? The hat shape was easy to identify as part of a circle. You could cut a circle, then cut a wedge out of it. Too big? Trim it down. Then hand cut the strip for the hat. Add a piece of ribbon if you want. The two yellow strips down here work as the legs, and I winged it with a pencil sketch and then an X-Acto knife to draw those boots. The boots are a little trickier, but I decided to sketch, cut, and trim to get the effect I wanted. I think it's okay, and trust me, I am not an artist. I mean, who remembers those early days of scrapbooking when we cut everything out with X-Acto knives? This is me cutting out my boot. Of course, if you own a die cutting machine, you can cut out an entire elf, but think of the fun you're missing. For my own album, I flipped to the next page. I decided I'd move the photo of my father over a page since the blue background really matches better with the picture. If you haven't heard me say so before, it's perfectly fine to move your pages around to suit yourself. On the left side here, I'll include a photo of my own little elf. This was a stuffed doll my mother made many years ago, and it's held up well through the years. I'm not exactly sure how I'll do the page, but I like that this double page spread will be a tribute to both my parents. Christmas really is a perfect time to think of family, whether or not they are with us, in any sense of the word. Now it's time to go find your own elves, and I'll see you tomorrow.